Today we are doing a video of all my favorite books and then most of my least favorite books. I don't know if I own all of my favorite books. I will do a little shout out for all the ones I don't own at the end. But yeah, so my bookshelf is a little messy. We'll start with a few of my favorites. I'm not doing this in any specific order. These are just some of my all-time favorites. I guess we could do it in a little bit of a... No, we won't. I'll just grab. Okay, A Walk to Remember by Nicholas Sparks. This was pretty good. I don't remember when I read it, but I was sobbing late at night. My mom walked in, gave me that judging look she always does when I'm crying over a book. No. Concerned. She's always concerned, but this was pretty good. I'm sure I read it a couple of years ago. Me Before You. This was gifted to me by my cousin, and I wasn't going to read it, but I ended up reading it, and then I forced my mom to watch the movie, and she hated me for it. I did sob again. I love tragic romances, and I hate them at the same time. The Last Letter. I recently read this, and it did break me. In a different way than these two did, but it still broke me. This one, it was actually a surprising read. Like, I honestly was surprised when I liked it. I had to stop because I think I forgot to say names. I don't know how to pronounce names well, so I unconsciously skip over them, but I guess I should. Like I said, A Walk to Remember by Nicholas Sparks, which is my last name, which is really cool. Me Before You by JoJo. Look it up. The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. You know what? Everybody struggles sometimes. Get over it. From Blood and Ash by Jenniffer Armentrout. Interesting name. This was a surprising... Like, I thought it was just going to be hyped up. It's definitely an interesting read. But it was still good. I liked the fantasy. I think I liked the high fantasy, and the romance helped a lot. So, but the high fantasy was just amazing. We had to pause because one of my siblings was having a bit of a breakdown. Okay, I think I finished what I was saying about that book. I really do need to put chapstick on. Okay, Heartless by Marissa Meyer, I think. Who knows? This was actually, it's a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, and oh my gosh, I actually genuinely love this. It was just a fun vibe, and I don't want to say more on it, but you have to read it. If you're, like, if you liked Alice in Wonderland, but, like, next level, I don't know. There was just something about it at the time that just had me hooked, and I loved it. I don't want to say anything. I'm not sure if I should say anything else. Okay, The Silent Patient. We had another interruption. The Silent Patient by Alex. However you pronounce that. This was actually a really good, my favorite thriller of all times. Yes. It's not YA, it's actually like a true thriller and mystery thriller, I think. And it was really good. I do recommend this. It's pretty popular. I guess that's probably why I got it, but another one of my all-time favorites. If you're into historical fiction, Between Shades of Grey by Ruta, I think. This was my first ever historical fiction, and I cannot find one that compares. So maybe it's just because it was my first historical fiction and it was a really good story, or maybe it's just because it was my first historical fiction and I just liked it. It was gifted to me by my other cousin, and It's well worn. It's a very loved book. But it was pretty good, as far as I remember. This is a little bit of a random one. It's called When We Were Vikings by Andrew David MacDonald. It's actually contemporary fiction. I don't know what this is considered. I don't know how to explain it. It was just a really good read. I thought it was about Vikings. I was just at Walmart. I didn't have any books. My mom pointed it out. She's like, that one looks cute. I'm like, ooh, get it for me. It was like $5 at Walmart. And it surprised me because it wasn't about Vikings. It doesn't say here. Her name's Zelda. She's 21 years old. She's a Viking enthusiast. As you can tell, I didn't look into it. Like, it looked pretty. I don't think I read into it. She has an older brother, Gert. But basically, she has autism, and this was just such a good book. I don't know. There's just something about it that was just so good. So, yeah. So, yes. Her name is Zelda. She's 21 years old. She loves Vikings. And her older brother is Gert, who gets into a little bit of trouble. And Zelda gets involved. She does have autism. That's kind of like the premise. I don't know. It was just so good. I loved reading it. It was definitely an interesting book and way out of my usual genre. I don't have usual genres. I read a lot, but this was just such a random read, and I just loved it. I guess I could do some shout-outs now. I gotta think. Okay, so I could do some shout-outs for other books that I enjoyed but don't own. A Child Called It by Dave Pelzer. The Green Cathedral by Kerry McDonald. Layla by Colleen Hoover. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I do like Colleen Hoover books. November 9 was a little bit of a... didn't know how to feel. Maybe even Reminders of Him, but it wasn't like my all-time favorite. Okay, and then Six of Crows by... I don't remember the name, but it's the duology. Love the duology. Okay, now it's time to talk about my least favorite books. I'll power through. Try not to over-explain. This was a total letdown. Premise was exciting, cute, wanted the fall vibe, terrible main character. Didn't really like the plot. If there even was one, there wasn't even romance, and that's what it was promoted as. Okay. It's kind of a funny story. I actually got this from a blind date with a book. It was weird. The idea and the fact that it is about mental health excited me. I was so excited. But it kind of gave me bad vibes. I didn't really like it. 1,000 Boy Kisses, and I apologize if I'm not saying their names. This was Ned. I'm not going to try. Never mind. 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I expected more. It felt like a sad attempt at A Walk to Remember. That's how disappointing it was. And I didn't really like the male love interest. I don't know. I was surprised because I loved If He Had Been With Me. Looking back, it was a little bit of childish writing. Didn't like the second book, but I did like the first one, and I thought that meant I would like this, and I didn't. I have nothing to say. This was just hard to get through. I Fell in Love with Hope by Lan Colley. Sorry. She was trying so hard to be poetic, and the characters weren't my favorite. It was just hard to get through. Thank you all for watching. I did film those videos a while ago, like at the beginning of fall, but I plan on filming a yearly wrap-up soon and getting that out, but I think I'll do that at the end of December. So any suggestions would be great because I am just starting out on YouTube. Interact in any way that you would like. I really don't know how this works. I might make an introduction video, like introduce myself to YouTube. We'll see. But just any suggestions or requests would be greatly appreciated. Thank you all for watching.